Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. P, a board certified OBGYN, and today we're talking about, can thyroid stop pregnancy? We will dive into a few different things in this video, but firstly we want to understand fully what thyroid disorders are like, what underactive as well as overactive thyroid disorders. We will talk about how your thyroid influences your reproductive health. We will talk about treatment as well as testing for thyroid disorders. And lastly, I give you a few tips as far as how to enhance your fertility if you do have an underlying thyroid disorder. Let's come on in, let's talk. The thyroid gland is one that is mighty. I often say that as mighty as it is, you would think that you can find like an organ that is big and working really hard inside of your body. But instead, the thyroid is really a very thin butterfly-shaped organ that lives or is located right around your neck. And I have a visual for you to see here. This is essentially what your thyroid gland looks like, but it is not nearly as thick and as big as this one. So we're gonna say, for visual purposes only, we're showing you what this may look like. In general, if you touch your neck, you will not be able to feel your thyroid beneath your skin, except if you have a goiter or you have an enlarged thyroid. You may see a bulging in your neck tissue. Now, the thyroid is mighty, like I mentioned. The thyroid is responsible for your metabolism, which is a process of balancing the energies and your usage of the foods that you eat and using them for energy. The thyroid is really behind your metabolism, which controls that. It also helps to control your temperature regulation. If you feel hot or cold, your thyroid is linked with this. It is linked with your nerves, your muscles, your joints, your bones, your development, your height, your weight. Your thyroid is linked with all of these things and so much more. But extremely importantly, your thyroid may impact your reproductive health, and that's the same for males and females alike. In females, an underactive thyroid gland may lead to hypothyroidism. So think of hypo being low. The opposite of that is hyper being high. Hypothyroidism may lead to you having excessive weight gain, feeling cold all the time, feeling depressed because it controls your mood and how you feel on a regular basis. And when it comes to your reproductive health, may lead to you having irregular cycles, missed cycles, or anovulation. It may cause ovulation essentially to not happen like it should. It may lead to your cycles being longer and heavier as well. Now, on the opposite side, where we have hyperthyroidism, this is where your thyroid activity is much higher than it ought to be. Excessive hormones from your thyroid may also lead to infertility, may also lead to irregular cycles, and may also cause concerns for how your reproductive health continues and has been. Thyroid disorders can also become autoimmune. And what that means is that you have an internal conflict wherein your body starts fighting against itself. So essentially, your body thinks of yourself as a bacteria, for instance, or a virus, where it says, I need to attack and get rid of that. And so autoimmunity or autoimmune problems can lead to further issues with the thyroid. And so two conditions that may fall under this category are Graves' disease and Hashimoto's disease. Both of these are autoimmune by nature, which again means your body is fighting against itself. In both of these conditions, what often happens is that your body will create antibodies and fight against yourself. And so with that, when we think of fertility, when we think of fertilization and this egg and sperm coming together to create a little human, if you have antibodies against yourself and against the development of a normal pregnancy, you may have a miscarriage, a chemical pregnancy, or a problem with stillbirth because your body is fighting against itself as well as anything developing within it. Studies have shown that thyroid issues are very common in people who have experienced miscarriages. So let's turn the tables a bit and look at things from the male standpoint. Thyroid disorders, which are less in males than in females, we know that fertility and the quality of sperm are highly impacted by thyroid disorders in males as well. So in knowing these things, it is extremely important that whether you are a male or a female, that you get your thyroid tested regularly, especially if you're thinking about fertility. If you've been trying for pregnancy and that hasn't occurred, or if you've had miscarriages, both males and females should be tested. This is a blood test that checks for a hormone called TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone. It is actually a hormone that comes from the brain, but it stimulates the thyroid to produce T4 and T3. The reason why we test the hormone from the brain is because we are more able to directly get information about the thyroid by testing that hormone versus the direct hormones from the thyroid gland itself. And so because of that, it is also very easy for us to get answers within hours of doing a test. We can get answers as far as whether or not our thyroid is a problem. And the good thing about this is, as easy as it is to test, thyroid really truly is quite simple to treat as well. And so whether it's hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism or even the autoimmune versions of thyroid disorders, there is help available. And oftentimes your hormones normalize, that is, we see that your fertility will blossom. That if you had miscarriages, that it decreases. That if you had an underlying problem because of your thyroid, they diminish and they go away. And so it's very important that we get this testing done and follow the recommendations of your doctors regarding treatment. There are definitely ways that you can support your body holistically. Firstly, by making sure that you are eating enough iodine in your diet on a daily basis. You can do so by having seafood. You can take vitamins that have iodine in sufficient amounts, or you can eat a balanced diet that incorporates lots of vegetables and different things that has iodine in it. So you can definitely target thyroid balance through your diet, but know that oftentimes we need medicines, we need support to help us create balance so we can increase our fertility. Common treatments for hypothyroidism is levothyroxine. This is a medicine that is prescribed that will increase based on what your body's needs are. If you have hyperthyroidism, there are several different ways that we can treat this. Sometimes we can give you anti-thyroid medicine that helps to target your thyroid and decrease its activity, or we can try radioactive thyroid therapy, wherein we decrease physically the amount of thyroid tissue that you have and the activity of your thyroid gland. So now we know that we can absolutely influence our fertility based on our thyroid underlying conditions and disorders. And so thyroid is one of our organs that releases hormones in our system and may impact our fertility. And if you're curious about what else you can do about your thyroid gland and its function, I have a free ebook that I would like to extend to you that would give you more information about your hormones. And this is called Hormones Don't Lie. If you'd like a copy of this ebook, go ahead and click the link beneath this video and I'll be happy to send this over to you. Thank you so much for being here and for listening in, and I hope that you've learned something great today. I'm Dr. Perkins, and I'll see you next time.